Hello, boys and girls. This is Mrs. Boynton with Vocabulary Lesson 19 coming to you from North America. Here we are in the United States, which is a big part of North America, and we're right here in Michigan. All right, we're going to learn some new vocabulary words from one of my favorite books, The Paper Bag Princess by Robert Munsch. You remember when we read that earlier in the year? If you remember, this is about a girl named Elizabeth, and she is going to marry Prince Ronald. But a dragon ruins her plans. Let's look at page 6. Here it says, unfortunately, a dragon smashed her castle, burned all her clothes with his fiery breath, and carried off Prince Ronald. The word we're focusing in on first is unfortunate. Listen to the sentence. Unfortunately, a dragon smashed her castle, burned all her clothes with his fiery breath, and carried off Prince Ronald. What do you think unfortunately means, or unfortunate? Now, un is a prefix at the beginning of the word. It was put on extra. And un means not. So unfortunate means not fortunate. So unfortunate means unlucky. Because it's unlucky for Elizabeth that the dragon ruins her castle and clothes and carries off Prince Ronald, because it ruins her wedding plans. And the next word we're going to look at is fortunate. We took the un off. We took off that prefix, and it became fortunate. So no longer does it mean not lucky. Fortunate means lucky. Fortunate is lucky. Unfortunate means unlucky. Okay, now it's time to get out your sticky note. I want you to put your name at the top and number it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down the side. Pause the video until you have your sticky note ready, please. We're going to play the game called Fortunate or Unfortunate. Remember, fortunate means lucky, and unfortunate means unlucky. You have to decide in these situations if the person is fortunate or unfortunate. Here's the first one. All right. Olive is at the bookstore looking for a popular new book that was just released, and lots of kids want to read it. When she asks the clerk if they have a copy of it, he says, "It's your lucky day. This is our last copy." So she gets to buy the book. Is Olive fortunate or unfortunate? Next to number 1, I want you to write the word fortunate or unfortunate. Which word describes Olive in that situation in the bookstore? And guess what? I want you to spell the word correctly because it's right here on the screen in front of you. You may pause the video if you need to write one of these two words next to number 1. All right, moving on to situation number 2. Sylvie is walking down the side of the road, and a truck drives through a puddle and splashes her with muddy water. Is she fortunate or unfortunate? Next to number 2, write which word describes the girl getting splashed with the muddy water. Fortunate or unfortunate? Write that word next to number 2. Pause the video if you need more time. Moving on to number 3. I was at lunch with Mrs. Hendricks, and she lifted up a spoonful of soup to her mouth, and I shouted, "Stop! There's a fly in your soup." Do you think Mrs. Hendricks was fortunate or unfortunate just at that moment? Write one of these two words next to number 3. Was Mrs. Hendricks fortunate or unfortunate when I shouted, "Stop! There's a fly in your soup"? Write the word and spell it correctly next to number 3. Okay, now we're going to move on to page 10. I just had some technical difficulties. I'm sorry. let me say that again. I don't think you heard me. So we're going to this part of the story where Elizabeth finds the dragon by following a trail of burnt forests and horses' bones. Here's what it says on page 10. Finally, Elizabeth came to a cave with a large door that had a huge knocker on it. She took hold of the knocker and banged on the door. The dragon stuck his nose out of the door and said, "Well, a princess. I love to eat princesses, but I have already eaten a whole castle today. I am a very busy dragon. Come back tomorrow." He slammed the door so fast that Elizabeth almost got her nose caught. There are two words on this page that mean similar things: large and huge. And we're going to focus in on another word that means about the same thing that Robert Munsch could have used instead. That new vocabulary word is immense. Isn't that a great word? Immense, huge, and large are synonyms. They all mean about the same thing. Very big. Immense is our new vocabulary word. So Robert Munsch could have said that she came to a cave with an immense door that had an immense knocker on it. Or just used immense once. You wouldn't want to use it too much in your writing. Let me tell you about a few things I know about that are immense. The first thing I want to tell you about is over here in California. Here we are in Michigan. I'm talking about something you can see in California, way over on the west coast. In California, there are immense trees called redwood trees. And some of them are so big that a car can drive through them. Not only are they big, they're immense. You can drive right through the whole tree. The next immense thing I want to tell you about is a little closer to Michigan. It's here in New York. It's called the Empire State Building in New York City. It's one of the tallest buildings in the city. It's over 1,000 feet tall. It is immense. Now, if you go a little closer to Michigan, to a city called Chicago, which is in Illinois, let me show you where it is. Right here. Here's Illinois, and Chicago's right here on Lake Michigan. You'll find an even more immense building. It's called the Willis Tower, but a lot of people call it the Sears Tower. It's even taller than the Empire State Building. It's very immense. Now, the next question is for number 4. What have you seen or heard about that is immense? You're going to write the name of that thing next to number 4 on your sticky note. The next question for number 5 is, where was this thing that you saw? So if I were filling out my sticky note for number 4 and 5 about the redwood tree, for number 4 I would write the name of the immense thing, which was the redwood tree. And for number 5 I'd write where I saw it, and then I would write California. Number 4 is for the name of the immense thing, and number 5 is for the location. Okay, by now you should have all numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 filled out. Make sure your sticky note has your name on it, so if it falls off, I know whose it is. Go put your sticky on your sticky spot. Thanks for learning with me today. Bye-bye.